Dear students, let's talk about drug interactions today. As you can assume from this name, drug interactions, that means two or more drugs are interacting with each other. That is to say, if you give one drug after another drug, or if you give two drugs together, then what happens? Then how one drug responds to the presence of another drug. Okay, so this way of responding is called drug interaction. So let's see the sequence of events in simultaneous use of two or more drugs. If you give two or more drugs together to a patient, then what can happen? How the drugs can respond to each other's presence. Okay, so one drug may increase the action of another drug, okay, or one drug may decrease the action of another drug, or one drug will not have any effect on the other. That means the two drugs will remain completely indifferent to each other's presence. Okay, so these things can happen. So before going into the detailed examples of drug interactions, let's discuss a few important terminologies. These are synergism and antagonism. Okay, so what is synergism? An interaction between two or more drugs that causes the total effect of the drugs to be greater than the sum of the individual effects of each drug. That means you are giving two drugs, okay, and the sum total of the effects of these two drugs will not be less than their individual effects. Okay, they will be, the sum total will be the same as the drugs individual effects, or that will be greater than their individual effects. That is synergism. Now synergism, you can say that the total effect of drug A and B will be greater than drug A alone and drug B alone. Okay, so just understand this simply. If you are giving drug A alone and you are giving drug B alone, drug A will produce its effects and drug B will produce its effect separately. Okay, but when you are giving these two drugs simultaneously, then their total effect will be greater than drug B alone and drug A alone. This is synergism. Now synergism is divided into two types. One is summation and the other is potentiation. What is summation? Summation means the total effect of two drugs will be equal to their individual effects. Okay, I think you are not very clear about this. Let's take this example and you will be very clear. So if we give a beta blocker to a person, beta blocker is an antihypertensive drug, okay, that reduces blood pressure, and thiazide diuretic or thiazide drugs are also antihypertensive drugs. These drugs also decreases blood pressure. Now if you give a beta blocker to a patient and that drug decreases blood pressure by 20 millimeter of mercury, the beta blocker is decreasing blood pressure by 20 millimeter of mercury, and you are giving thiazide diuretic to that patient, and that is reducing the blood pressure by 10 millimeter of mercury. They are doing these things individually, separately. Okay, now you are giving these two drugs simultaneously to that patient, and the effect is they are reducing blood pressure by 30 millimeter of mercury. That is the summative effect or additive effect. Okay, we call this summation or addition. That means 2 plus 2 equal to 4. Here the result is for drug A. If we say that drug A producing effect 2 and drug B is producing 2, their summation will be 4. That is summation. Okay, I think you are very clear about it. Now come to potentiation. Now what is potentiation? Potentiation means one drug is increasing the action of the other drug. So the total effect of two drugs will be greater, okay, greater than their individual effects. Here 2 plus 2 will be more than 4. That will not be only 4, that will be more than 4. That means one drug is increasing the effect of another, the other drug. Now let's take an example. For instance, sulfamethoxazole, which is an antibiotic, and trimethoprim, this is also an antibiotic. Individually, these drugs are bacteriostatic. When they work alone in a patient, they are bacteriostatic. Bacteriostatic means the antibiotics which do not kill bacteria, they just halt the progress of bacteria. They just prevent their growth inside the body. Okay. And bactericidal means when a antibiotic can kill bacteria, that drugs are called bactericidal. Now individually these two drugs are bacteriostatic. However, if you give these two drugs together simultaneously, then they become bactericidal. So their action has been increased. That is potentiation. Now come to antagonism. What is drug antagonism? When the action of one drug opposes the action of another drug, that is called antagonism. When one drug opposes the action of another drug, that is antagonism is said to have occurred. That means here antagonism has occurred. Now antagonism is also divided into different subcategories. Let's look at them. Number one, we can say physiological antagonism. Now what is physiological antagonism? Here the two drugs have opposite pharmacodynamic effects. The two drugs having opposite pharmacodynamic effects. That means drug A, suppose drug A is increasing blood pressure and drug B is decreasing blood pressure. Okay, that is the opposite pharmacodynamic effect. But that's not the end. We have something else here. Here drugs act on different receptors and exert their effects by different mechanisms. So here drug A is increasing blood pressure by acting on a different receptor, and drug B is decreasing blood pressure by acting on a different receptor. This is physiological antagonism. Take an example, that histamine. This histamine is a substance or chemical mediator, you can say, which causes bronchoconstriction. That causes bronchoconstriction by histamine, by acting on histamine receptors. And epinephrine, which is a neurotransmitter or hormone, that causes bronchodilation by acting on beta receptors on bronchial smooth muscles. So on bronchial smooth muscles there are histamine receptors and there are beta receptors. Okay, so histamine acts on histamine receptors and causes bronchoconstriction, and epinephrine that acts on beta receptors and cause bronchodilation. This is physiological antagonism. Now come to pharmacological antagonism. What is pharmacological antagonism? Here one drug opposes the action of another drug by acting on the same receptor. They act on same receptor, and this further can be divided into competitive or non-competitive antagonism. So you can understand the difference between physiological and pharmacological antagonism. In physiological antagonism, drugs acting on different receptors, but on in pharmacological antagonism, the drugs are acting on the same receptor. Okay, now pharmacological antagonism is further divided into competitive and non-competitive antagonism. Now what is competitive and what is non-competitive? Competitive antagonism, here you see that if both the agonist and the antagonist compete for the same receptor, they compete for the same receptor in a reversible manner. Which manner? Reversible manner. They are said to be competitive. Now what does that mean? This means that the antagonist drug interacts with the receptor and blocks it, therefore it does not produce pharmacological effect. Okay, so an antagonist binds with the receptor and blocks that receptor, so an agonist cannot bind, so it opposes the action of the agonist. Okay, now what does it mean compete for the same receptor? Compete for the same receptor means if you increase the amount of agonist, if you increase the dose, the concentration of agonist drugs, then the agonist drugs will displace the antagonist from their site and they will bind with the receptor and will exert their effect. So this is competitive antagonist. Okay, so they compete for the same receptor. And there is non-competitive antagonism. So what is non-competitive antagonism? Here the antagonist binds at a different site on the receptor or binds very strongly. Okay, either the antagonist binds to a different site on the receptor, the same receptor, both agonist and antagonist are acting on the same receptor, but the antagonist is binding to a different site on that receptor and the agonist is binding to a different site of the receptor. So here is no competition. Okay, so the non-competitive antagonist binds with the receptor and blocks that. If the antagonist binds with that receptor, that cannot produce any action. Okay, so that is non-competitive antagonism. Or the in non-competitive antagonism, the antagonist binds very strongly with the receptor so that the antagonist cannot bind, so that there is no question of competition. So these are non-competitive type of antagonism. For example, you can see an example here: norepinephrine and phenoxybenzaimine at alpha adrenergic receptors. So phenoxybenzaimine is an antagonist at alpha adrenergic receptor and norepinephrine, this is an agonist. So phenoxybenzaimine is a non-competitive antagonist which do not allow norepinephrine to bind with the receptor. Now there are a few more types of antagonism. One is physical antagonism and another is chemical antagonism. What is physical antagonism? Here one drug opposes another drug by acting physically rather than at the receptor level. They do not compete for the receptor, they do not bind with any receptor, they just alter the physical environment or physical properties of the other drug. By that they exert their effect. Let's look at an example. If we give activated charcoal is an activated carbon, okay, carbon substance, in phenobarbital overdose, if a patient or if a person has taken a high dose of phenobarbital orally he has taken 20 or 30 tablets of phenobarbital, okay, and you know that he has taken that, he has come to the hospital immediately, or his relatives have taken him to the hospital immediately, then what will you do? You will give him activated charcoal. So what activated charcoal is doing here? It prevents absorption of phenobarbital by adsorption. Okay, adsorption means the activated charcoal is producing a layer on the gut wall so that phenobarbital cannot be absorbed. So this is a physical method. There is prevention of phenobarbital toxicity. So phenobarbital cannot be absorbed into the systemic circulation and there will be prevention of toxicity. What is chemical antagonism? Here the two drugs react chemically with each other. So one drug antagonizes the other section. For example, antacids. Antacids are alkali which neutralizes gastric hydrochloric acid. How? By acid alkali reactions. By acid alkali reactions, we know there is production of salt and water, so there is no more acidity, and this is beneficial in peptic ulcer disease.